Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Exposed to fresh air. The mass of air surrounding the Earth. It was exposed to the air. Travel via aircraft. Air travel involves too much waiting in airports. Exposed to cool or cold air so as to cool or freshen. Air the old winter clothes. A slight wind, usually refreshing. As he waited, he could feel the air on his neck. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. She was humming an air from Beethoven. A distinctive but intangible quality surrounding a person or thing. An air of mystery. Broadcast over the airwaves, as in radio or television. We cannot air this X-rated song. Make public. She aired her opinions on welfare. Medium for radio and television broadcasting. The program was on the air from 9 till midnight. A mixture of gases, especially oxygen, required for breathing, the stuff that the wind consists of. Air pollution. Be broadcast. This show will air Saturdays at 2 p.m. Exposed to warm or heated air, so as to dry. Once thought to be one of 4 elements composing the universe, Empedocles. The region above the ground. Her hand stopped in mid-air. Exposed to fresh air. Aerate your old sneakers. Impregnate, combine, or supply with oxygen. Aerate, sewage, so as to favor the growth of organisms that decompose organic matter. Exposed to fresh air. Exposed to cool or cold air so as to cool or freshen. Air out the smoke-filled rooms. A particular environment or surrounding influence. There was an atmosphere of excitement. The mass of air surrounding the Earth. There was great heat as the comet entered the atmosphere. The weather or climate at some place. The atmosphere was thick with fog. A distinctive but intangible quality surrounding a person or thing. An atmosphere of defeat pervaded the candidate's headquarters. A unit of pressure. The pressure that will support a column of mercury 760 mm high at sea level and 0 degrees centigrade. The envelope of gases surrounding any celestial body. Travel via aircraft. Air travel involves too much waiting in airports. Travel via aircraft. The art of operating aircraft. The aggregation of a country's military aircraft. The operation of aircraft to provide transportation. Activity that frees or expresses creative energy or emotion. He gave vent to his anger. Exposed to cool or cold air so as to cool or freshen. Give expression or utterance to. She vented her anger. A fissure in the Earth's crust, or in the surface of some other planet, through which molten lava and gases erupt. A hole for the escape of gas or air. A slit in a garment, as in the back seam of a jacket. External opening of urinary or genital system of a lower vertebrate. Exposed to cool or cold air so as to cool or freshen. Give expression or utterance to. Circulate through and freshen. The gust of air ventilated the room. Exposed to the circulation of fresh air so as to retard spoilage. Wheat should be well ventilated. Furnish with an opening to allow air to circulate or gas to escape. A slight wind, usually refreshing. The breeze was cooled by the lake. Any undertaking that is easy to do. Blow gently and lightly. It breezes most evenings at the shore. To proceed quickly and easily. A slight wind, usually refreshing. A slight wind, usually refreshing. Greek mythology, the Greek god of the west wind. A course of reasoning aimed at demonstrating a truth or falsehood, the methodical process of logical reasoning. I can't follow your line of reasoning. A slight depression or fold in the smoothness of a surface. His face has many lines. Mechanical system in a factory whereby an article is conveyed through sites at which successive operations are performed on it. A connected series of events or actions or developments. Historians can only point out those lines for which evidence is available. The road consisting of railroad track and roadbed. A conceptual separation or distinction. There is a narrow line between sanity and insanity. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. A conductor for transmitting electrical or optical signals or electric power. The principal activity in your life that you do to earn money. He's not in my line of business. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Often plural, a means of communication or access. Lines of communication were set up between the two firms. The descendants of one individual. His entire lineage has been warriors. Space for one line of print, 1 column wide and 1/14 inch deep, used to measure advertising. A short personal letter. Drop me a line when you get there. A telephone connection. Be in line with, form a line along. Trees line the riverbank. The maximum credit that a customer is allowed. A particular kind of product or merchandise. A nice line of shoes. A pipe used to transport liquids or gases. A pipeline runs from the wells to the seaport. A commercial organization serving as a common carrier. Acting in conformity. In line with. A formation of people or things one behind another. The line stretched clear around the corner. A formation of people or things one beside another. The line of soldiers advanced with their bayonets fixed. A fortified position, especially one marking the most forward position of troops. They attacked the enemy's line. A length, straight or curved, without breadth or thickness, the trace of a moving point. A mark that is long relative to its width. He drew a line on the chart. A single frequency, or very narrow band, of radiation in a spectrum. A spatial location defined by a real or imaginary unidimensional extent. Cover the interior of. Line the gloves. Fill plentifully. Line one's pockets. In games or sports, a mark indicating positions or bounds of the playing area. Mark with lines. Sorrow had lined his face. persuasive but insincere talk that is usually intended to deceive or impress. Let me show you my etchings as a rather worn line. Reinforce with fabric. Lined books are more enduring. Something, as a cord or rope, that is long and thin and flexible. A washing line. Text consisting of a row of words written across a page or computer screen. The letter consisted of 3 short lines. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. The perception of pleasant arrangements of musical notes. An intense or violent exertion. Difficulty that causes worry or emotional tension. She endured the stresses and strains of life. Cause to be tense and uneasy or nervous or anxious. Test the limits of. Become stretched or tense or taut. The rope strained when the weight was attached. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. The act of singing. Remove by passing through a filter. Separate by passing through a sieve or other straining device to separate out coarser elements. Use to the utmost. Exert vigorously or to full capacity. Don't strain your mind too much. Biology. A group of organisms within a species that differ in trivial ways from similar groups. A new strain of microorganisms. A special variety of domesticated animals within a species. He created a new strain of sheep. The general meaning or substance of an utterance. To exert much effort or energy. Straining our ears to hear. An effortful attempt to attain a goal. Rub through a strainer or process in an electric blender. Alter the shape of something by stress. Psychology, nervousness resulting from mental stress. His responsibilities were a constant strain. Injury to a muscle, often caused by overuse, results in swelling and pain. Physics, deformation of a physical body under the action of applied forces. Adjust the pitches of musical instruments. My piano needs to be tuned. Adjust for better functioning. Tune the engine. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. The adjustment of a radio receiver or other circuit to a required frequency. The property of producing accurately a note of a given pitch. He cannot sing in tune. An indication of radiant light drawn around the head of a saint. A distinctive but intangible quality surrounding a person or thing. The place had an aura of romance. A sensation, as of a cold breeze or bright light, that precedes the onset of certain disorders such as a migraine attack or epileptic seizure. A group of nearly parallel lines of electromagnetic radiation. Emit light. Be bright, as of the sun or a light. The fire beamed on their faces. A column of light, as from a beacon. A signal transmitted along a narrow path. Guides airplane pilots in darkness or bad weather. Experience a feeling of well-being or happiness, as from good health or an intense emotion. She was beaming with joy. Broadcast over the airwaves, as in radio or television. Have a complexion with a strong bright color, such as red or pink. A gymnastic apparatus used by women gymnasts. Express with a beaming face or smile. He beamed his approval. Long thick piece of wood or metal or concrete, etc., used in construction. Nautical, breadth amidships. Smile radiantly. Express joy through one's facial expression. The broad side of a ship. They sighted land on the port beam. Cause to become widely known. Broadcast the news. A radio or television show. Broadcast over the airwaves, as in radio or television. Message that is transmitted by radio or television. Sow over a wide area, especially by hand. Broadcast seeds. Transfer. Cause to be directed or transmitted to another place. Send me your latest results. Assigned to a station. To cause or order to be taken, directed, or transmitted to another place. Cause to go somewhere. Cause to be admitted. Of persons to an institution. Broadcast over the airwaves, as in radio or television. Transport commercially. Transmit or serve as the medium for transmission. Broadcast over the airwaves, as in radio or television. Send from one person or place to another. Transmit a message. Transfer to another. Apart from anything else, without additions or modifications. Only the bare facts. Lay bare. Bare your breasts. Just barely adequate or within a lower limit. A bare majority. Providing no shelter or sustenance. Bare rocky hills. Lacking a surface finish such as paint. Bare wood. Lacking embellishment or ornamentation. Having everything extraneous removed including contents. The bare walls. Not having a protective covering. A bare blade. Completely unclothed. Bare bodies. Make public. Lacking in magnitude or quantity. A bare livelihood. Lacking its natural or customary covering. A bare hill. Call attention to. Make public. Call attention to. Make public. Medium for radio and television broadcasting. The president used the airwaves to take his message to the people. To show, make visible or apparent. Reveal to view as by removing a cover. Put in a dangerous, disadvantageous, or difficult position. Make known to the public information that was previously known only to a few people or that was meant to be kept a secret. Remove all or part of one's clothes to show one's body. The man exposed himself in the subway. The exposure of an impostor or a fraud. He published an exposé of the graft and corruption in city government. Expose while ridiculing, especially of pretentious or false claims and ideas. Abandon by leaving out in the open air. The infant was exposed by the teenage mother. Expose or make accessible to some action or influence. Expose the blanket to sunshine. Expose to light, a photographic film. The effort contributed by a person in bringing about a result. The actions and activities assigned to or required or expected of a person or group. The government must do its part. To some extent, in some degree, not wholly. I felt partly to blame. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. A portion of a natural object. They analyzed the river into 3 parts. Something less than the whole of a human artifact. The rear part of the house. One of the portions into which something is regarded as divided and which together constitute a whole. The written part of the exam. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The business partners broke over a tax question. The melody carried by a particular voice or instrument in polyphonic music. He tried to sing the tenor part. Force, take, or pull apart. Moses parted the Red Sea. An item that is an instance of some type. My dog swallowed a Lego part. A line of scalp that can be seen when sections of hair are combed in opposite directions. His part was right in the middle. Leave. The extended spatial location of something. Religions in all parts of the world. Go one's own way. Move apart. The friends separated after the party. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. He wanted to feel a part of something bigger than himself. An actor's portrayal of someone in a play. She played the part of Desdemona. Come apart. That which concerns a person with regard to a particular role or situation. It requires vigilance on our part. A part of an animal that has a special function or is supplied by a given artery or nerve. In the abdominal region. A knowledge domain that you are interested in or are communicating about. Here we enter the region of opinion. The extended spatial location of something. The farming regions of France. The approximate amount of something, usually used prepositionally as in the region of. It was going to take in the region of 2 or 3 months to finish the job. A large indefinite location on the surface of the Earth. Penguins inhabit the polar regions. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. We traveled from Rome to Naples by bus. Travel upon or across. Travel the oceans. Undertake a journey or trip. A movement through space that changes the location of something. Self-propelled movement. Make a trip for pleasure. The act of going from one place to another. He enjoyed selling but he hated the travel. Travel from place to place, as for the purpose of finding work, preaching, or acting as a judge. Undergo transportation as in a vehicle. We traveled north on Route 508. The act of going from one place to another.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.